So, good evening, everyone. So, we are going live now. And I welcome you all for the 60th day of Global Youth Festival 2022, being organized by IDYM Foundation. And today we'll be discussing on the topic Girls in STEM. And the panelists for today include Azrat Aditi ma'am, Dr. Bedkar sir, and Dr. Prachi Beriwala ma'am, and Vanessa ma'am. So I think all the four panelists are already present here, and I hope we are going to have a very fruitful session today. Well, STEM, it stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Today, girls are everywhere. They have entered in medical field. They are scientists. They are working as software engineers and civil engineers. But still, somewhere a gap is there. A gender gap exists somewhere in this field too. Well, the number of girls are increasing, especially if we talk about India. The number of girls in engineering, the number of girls in technology or the science field is increasing. Being a professor in engineering college, somewhere I have witnesses like nearly a decade ago where the number of girls was some limited to some 10 to 20%, but now in the branches like electronics and communication engineering or computer science engineering, we have more than 50% of the girls are studying. Mining engineering was a branch in which girls were not allowed, but since 2 years even that barriers has been improved. But if we talk about the data regarding the continuing the education, especially the higher education in the field of STEM, still there were somewhere there is a gender gap that we have observed. The ratio can be different in the various countries, but still I think it is a very good topic of discussion. So today we will be discussing about the reasons why the girls are still lacking somewhere in the STEM field and how we can be improving it, and why we require more girls to enter the STEM field. So, with this, I call upon the first panelist today, the first speaker, Dr. Prachi Beriwala. Ma'am, please take over the session. Welcome to the session. Please start with.
Thank you so much, Anju ma'am. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Please
Okay, thank you
continue.
so much. Good evening, everyone. Namaskara from India. And I hope all of you had a safe and happy festival all around the world. And congratulations to IDYM for having a non-stop back-to-back sessions with something different, so innovative, and like so knowledgeable. Like it's really wonderful what you guys are doing. Kudos, like hats off to you people. Now, talking about today's topic, I have a question with my co panelist. How many of you know a very famous doctor, a female doctor, very famous, world famous female doctor, other than the older ones, recent men? Hardly. How many of us know a very famous mathematician in India other than Shakuntala Devi? Hardly. How many of us know a very famous engineer, a female engineer in India? Hardly. That's the reason. Because we don't have any, we don't have any kind of, models. When I say talk about models, I'm talking about the role models. We hardly have any role model in the field of STEM. The reason could be any. I'm not denying to the fact that in India there are a lot of people who are working very passionately for their own field. But again, not to deny to the fact that the job opportunities for the female gender, still there's a lot of gap. If I talk about, there was a survey conducted by global technology and engineering company Emerson, and they said that there is a huge gender gap still in the field of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, which still exist in India. The reason being because, see, when I also do career counseling, majority of the parents still, I don't want my daughter to get into engineering, medical, because it will take a lot of time for her to settle down, and we have to get her married, right? And it is not that immediately after she does her medical or after she does her engineering or something in science, then she will take some time to gain experience. She will take some time to settle down, and we don't have that much of time because she will have to get married. She will get old. So, might sound very funny, might sound very strange, but yes, marriage could be one of the reasons that why this gender gap exists, right? According to a research survey, Nearly 84% Indian believes that STEM jobs are important for companies' future. They also believe that, whether it is a millennial generation or whether I talk about Gen Z, everybody feels that, you must have a career in STEM. But they also agree to the fact that there is a huge gap, a huge gender gap when we talk about these STEM jobs, right? Now, the reason why they feel that, there are no much of like females over there is because, the company does not want to waste time in training. Like I have seen in the job interviews, like, once I was doing a research, and, many of the young females, they are told, like, if we are going to get married, like, the first question they'll ask, are you plan how soon you are planning to get married? And if they say, as soon as we get, then they are denied the job, because once they get married, the chances of them moving to another city, because they have to move along with the husband, or the chances of moving them, somewhere else, or settling, or the in-laws telling that, the husband side telling that she can't continue with her profession, might be higher. Again, might sound like a joke in this century, but that's a fact. Or if I talk about, if the female recently married and, shifted to another city and applying for a job, the first question will they ask, ma'am, it's going to be very difficult to take you, because, you might plan to start your family soon. Then in that case, we will be stuck, we will be there nowhere, right? So very, like, keeping in mind that the female has to get married, keeping in mind the female has to start a family, keeping in mind that, till date the job of a female depends upon the spouse side, the societal pressure, the family pressure, and all that. And once the child is born, like, then also it is expected from a newly mother that she should take a break, because as a mother she is responsible. Again, might sound silly, but this involves a good reason. Though, we keep talking about automation and technology, and, it is ingrained in our, like, very truly ingrained in our education system. Or if I talk about, like, COVID has taught us, how automation and technology can be brought to the classrooms, right? There is a growing urgency for the people to prepare, the society has to prepare a lot of workforce with STEM skills, which is critical in nature, which is going to strengthen our economy in the world, which is going to, empower more women. But again, the gap exists, right? 96% of the Indian feel that STEM education is very, very much important for the company's future. But again, marriage date, marriage age, to start the pressure of the family, to start family pressure, to move because spouse job is moved somewhere else. All these constraints a female still see. If I talk about, in the classes, because I deal in PG, the ratio of male to female is still high. There are no much of, females taking up MBA or taking up a highly, professional job. Again, same thing, because parents are not ready to make her to wait for her to complete her education. Or I'm not telling every case, but these are the primarily reason which happens in the country. And then they don't want her to, get job. And sometimes the problem with the female is, if she studies too much, if she is well settled, if she's earning high, getting her married again is a big question mark, right? So, again, like, very sounds very, funny, but that's the fact, it is happening, right? And primarily the reason is because, we hardly have any female role models, like, if I talk about, like, we, or maybe we don't showcase them. There are, but we don't showcase them. So we, right now, what I personally feel is, we need to create an environment where, everyone in the country is encouraged to pursue such career in STEM. It also helps to address various problems in the country, because keeping in mind that there's a lot of brain drain which happens, and primarily male part, right? So females at least will be settled in the country to take care of the global growth, and they will contribute to growing global STEM workforce, right? Empowering more qualified workers of especially female gender will explore STEM career, and which will also help a significant impact on the workforce gap. If I would say, why female don't make a career, or why female get a less chance, to not to make a career in STEM, because stereotype, society, the opportunity is not given to them. Why opportunity? Why or they either opportunity is not given to them, or they miss the opportunity. The reason could be, no, because I was supposed to get married, or maybe I was supposed to take care of my parents because they were not well. I was supposed to take care of my in-laws because they were aging. I was supposed to take care of my child because the child was very small, right? So a lot of stereotype mentality is attached when we talk about a female, whereas in at least that much of restrictions, or that much of hindrances are not there with the men. And also, well, like since the time the topic has been given, I was trying to check with a lot of my students, or lot of the educated class I know. They said, like, the reason why, because we feel, the female is not highlighted in such jobs, because the reason why, when I asked them, why do you think so that they're not highlighted in such job, so the reason what they gave is because there are hardly any female role models in this field, which is actually a fact. But yeah, that's what is happening. And thank you so much, Anjum ma'am. That's from my side. Thank you so very much. And all the very best to my co-panelist. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It was really a very inspiring session, I must say. And like you talked about, a very important message that we got from your session, from your small presentation, is that it is not just about increasing the number of women in STEM, but we need to increase the number of role models in STEM. Yes, the women are entering this field, but we need more of role models so that the girls get inspired. And somewhere you try to just put out some practical points, like getting married, planning to get married, and how to continue the career after getting married. It is still a big problem in India, not with every woman we can say, but still it is a big problem with India. And so, ma'am, I would like this to ask you, can you give a small message that inspires everyone, especially the women, to join STEM? A small message for
Uh,
everyone.
Ma'am, they can be the role model for others. They can encourage others actually to, take up this profession. They not need no, see, when I joined teaching, maybe it might sound like, might sound little strange, but I was never looking out for a role model. I was looking out, I wanted to be the change in the society, which I felt there should be. So, I'm working on that. So, all of us have to have the mindset that not necessarily everything works on the basis of role model. It has to be, we can be the role model and we can get the change in the society. So, what I would like to request all my, all my audience, and especially for the parents of the, the female generation, there is no ideal age for marriage. There is no ideal age for having kids, let them explore, because you never know what, how situation are going to take a turn. You and me were lucky, that we actually had the chance of studying further. We had a chance to do a lot of things,
Yeah,
but not everyone is as lucky as you and
yeah,
me. So, at least, whatever time they can study, whatever time they can make a career, please allow them to do that. And please make it very clear when you are getting your daughters married, that they should not be stopped from working. It's very important. It is not only for, the daughter herself, but it is very important for the entire society, because we really need more of female workforce. There's a huge gender gap still lying. The government has been coming up with a lot of scheme, and education has been improving. There are so many schemes which have been given by the government to provide free education and all that. There is a, a quota in the name of females in many fields, but still there is a huge gap. The reason being because we have not changed our mentality. So I think, like, it's
yeah.
time for all of us to learn some lessons from the past and change the stereotype mentality.
Yes, ma'am. We need to change the stereotype mentality, and to bring the change, we have to
Be
become
the
the
change.
change. And this,
Yeah.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for the such a important message, such an effective message. And with this, I call upon the second speaker, Azra Tajiji, ma'am. Ma'am, please take over the session.
Thank you very much for the invitation. May I share my PowerPoint slides?
Okay, ma'am. Sure.
Thank you. Now, is visible?
Yes, ma'am. I think it is showing that it will take time. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's visible, ma'am. Please just put it in the slideshow mode.
Okay. Okay. Yes. What matters to girls in STEM? Numbers of women in STEM fields are increasing dramatically, but hard science still attract and retain very few women. Still very few women at higher levels in industry, academia, research. More challenges still need to be overcome. We should provide information about possibilities in STEM, need for more people and more diverse people in STEM, especially engineering, information technology. STEM jobs are good jobs. STEM jobs are available jobs. Also, encourage extensive exploration of STEM. Girls need to know about the range and variety in STEM. Girls need to see STEM as exciting and cutting edge. Girls need to know that work in STEM has people. Encourage STEM in girls' friendship groups. Have girls do STEM together in fun activities with their friends. Girl friendship groups can counter the stereotyping pressure of youth culture. Provide ongoing consistent parental support for girls in STEM. Social pressure make STEM a hard sell to girls. Be consistent and supportive. Fathers or adult male support especially important for girls in STEM. Support transition from high school to college. Support transition to work and family. Be alert for last minute decision against STEM at these junctures. What the research tells us about shaping STEM for girls. Teach STEM with a purpose, promote hearing, conceptualizing scientific ideas for girls and women, provide role models, encourage growth mindset. Career awareness. Students are at the middle and high school levels have limited knowledge about STEM careers or how to prepare for them. Girls as well as boys are more attracted to STEM careers when they clearly understand their relevance to society. Implications. Beginning in middle school, teach students about STEM career options, connect STEM career to student interest, demonstrate their relevance in society, advise students interested in STEM careers how to prepare academically, use role models and mentors to break STEM stereotypes. Identifying with STEM careers. Girls' interest in STEM careers is related to how much they identify with STEM careers or see themselves as scientists, engineers, computer scientists, mathematicians. Implication provide girls with relatable role models from STEM professions, connect the work of STEM profession with girls' lives and goals. Family involvement and support. Girls are more likely to take STEM courses and pursue STEM fields if they are encouraged by their family. Career goals are influenced by cultural values and expectations. Girls who know people in STEM professions are more likely to be interested in STEM careers. Implications. Educate parents about STEM careers. Focus on ways STEM careers connect to cultural values. Educate parents about how to help their children prepare for college or their career. Expose students and their parents to STEM professionals. Students, regardless of gender, do not have a clear picture of the STEM careers available to them. Girls prefer helping careers and often their parents prefer these kind of careers for them. Parents are swayed by salaries, students are swayed by interest. Near-age role models are more particularly at the middle school level, kids aspire to be what they see in the media. And summary, my concluding words: women have made huge stride toward equality in STEM fields, but cultural stereotypes, the effects of unconscious bias, and work-family balance issues continue to lead to reduced presence women in STEM, lack of women at high levels, and limits on ability of women to seek advancement and achieve their professional goals. We now have a wealth of data about challenges that women in STEM and most effective ways to address these issues. Now we just have to go forward and implement these solutions. Let's all work together to move forward and achieve equality and parity in all STEM fields at all levels. Thank you for listening and your interest. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the lovely presentation. What I think is sometimes, there are the number of stereotypes and the pressure, the community pressure or the pressure from the family side that the more number of girls are not pursuing their careers in STEM. But somewhere I think it is also a matter of interest. Might be somewhere in the school they start losing interest. So how can we keep on continuing so that the girls can have interest in continuing with the STEM careers? As a teacher, what can we do for that?
I think awareness is so important. If as teachers or as supporters, we aware parents or we aware our girls or our women of they can reach these achievements in their career or in their past, we can make change and make differences in different ways, and we can aware them. We just should aware them in this way.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Because it is again an important thing. Like when we was I was studying about like STEM. Even I have published a research paper last year. So when I was studying about that, even there I just noticed that this is again a reason for the gender gap in STEM. That somewhere the girls start losing interest. Not only the girls, even the boys, but
Yes.
girls are more in that number, and because of that again they don't want to go. Even like more girls are entering the STEM field nowadays, but still due to lack of interest. So we're as a teachers, we need to encourage them, we need to make the science education more interesting so that they go forward for higher education and pursue careers. Thank you very much, ma'am. And with this I invite the next speaker. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I invite the next speaker, Vanessa, ma'am. Are you there? Yes. Vanessa, ma'am, can you please take over the session?
Hello, very good evening to all the speakers. Okay, today I actually be looking at the social view of females in STEM. So I've be looking at actually three factors. One is the current status of girls and women in STEM education. Number two, factors influencing girls and women's participation and achievement in STEM education. And third, possible solutions to reduce gender gap. Female education in STEM includes child and adult female represented in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. In 2007, there were 33% of students in STEM fields that were women. The organization UNESCO has stated that this gender disparity is due to discrimination, biases, social norms, and expectations that influence the quality of education women receive and the subjects they study. UNESCO also believes that having more women in STEM fields is desirable because it will help bring about sustainable development. So let's go to my first point, current status of girls and women in STEM education. the overall trends in STEM education. Gender differences in STEM education participation are already visible in early childhood care and education in science and math-related play, and become more pronounced at higher levels of education. Girls appear to lose interest in STEM subjects with age, particularly between early and late adolescence. The decrease in interest affects participation in advanced studies at the secondary level and in higher education. Female students represent 35% of all students enrolled in STEM-related fields of study at the level globally. Differences are also observed by disciplines, and female enrollment are lowest in engineering, manufacturing, and construction, natural science, mathematics, and statistics and ICT fields. Significant regional and country differences in female representation in STEM studies can be observed, though suggesting the presence of contextual factors affecting girls and women's engagement in these fields. Women have STEM disciplines in disappropriate numbers during higher education studies and in transition to the world of work, and even in their career cycle. Data on gender differences in learning achievement represent a complex picture, and depending on what is measured, subject knowledge acquisition against knowledge application, the level of education of students, and geographic location, overall women's participation has been increasing, but significantly regional variations exist. For example, where data are available in Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean, the gender gap is largely in favor of boys in mathematics achievement in secondary education. In contrast, in the Arab states, girls perform better than boys in both subjects in primary and secondary education. As with data on participation, national and regional variations in data on learning achievement suggest the presence of contextual factors affecting girls and women's engagement in these fields. Girls' achievement seems to be stronger in science than mathematics, and where girls do better than boys, the score differential is up to 3 times higher than where boys do better. Girls tend to outperform boys in certain subtopics such as biology and chemistry, and do less well in physics and earth science. The gender gap has fallen significantly in science and secondary education among these countries. 14 out of 7 participating countries had no gender gap in science in 2015, compared to 1 in 1985. However, the data is less well known outside of these 17 countries. The gender gap and boys are in favor slightly bigger in mathematics, by improvements over the years in time where girls have actually improved in mathematics scores. Favors are now actually turning towards the female population, especially when it comes to mathematics. So what are actually the factors influencing girls and women's participation and achievement in STEM education? On the individual level, biological factors that may influence individuals' abilities, skills, and behavior, such as brain structure and function, hormones, genetics, and cognitive traits, like spatial and linguistic skills. It also considers psychological factors, including self-efficacy, interest, and motivation. Family and peer level areas also very important. Parental beliefs and expectations, parental education, and socio-economic status and other household factors, as well as peer influences. On a school level, factors within the learning environment, including teachers, profile, experience, beliefs, and expectations, curricular, learning materials and resources, teaching strategies, and student-teacher interactions, assessment practices, and the social school environment. On the society level, society and cultural norms related to gender equality and gender stereotypes in the media. All these factors actually play a lot of part in girls' education. We need to create more awareness to tell the girls actually that they can bring about a difference in society by going into science, engineering, and mathematics. And parents, on one hand, must also encourage them to go into these fields. And, you know, as one speaker said, there's no age limit when you want to have a child, when you want to get married. So all these marriage factors and having child factors actually secondary to the primary cause of education in females. They need to be educated. They need to have the education as well to empower themselves. And the problem is the gender gap is still there, but the possible solutions in reducing this gender gap is have inclusive approach, have learning-based problem solving where parents, girls, and the parents, the boys, the sons and the daughters can come together and talk and see why there's a gender gap in this educational area, and all of them can actually encourage one another. Awareness is also very important. We need to increase awareness in female education. And students' intellectual engagement and success can develop and improve as a result of instructors' gender. So actually, it's very important that a teacher be a female also. And that female teacher need to go around and also create awareness to show that it is a good thing for females to be in STEM. So thank you very much. Hope that was informative. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So you again give up so much of interesting points, and especially even I think that involvement of teachers is going to play a very important role, and especially if we talk about the teachers those who are living the rural areas and the remote areas, they also need more of motivation. Actually, teachers should be motivated, teachers should be trained, and somewhere there should be again activity-based learning. Though we are focusing on it, we need to increase the activity-based learning even for the STEM, so that the students get interested, students have more interest, and they go for especially the girls go for the STEM education. And with this, I invite our next speaker, Dr. Bedkar sir. So please, so it is a great pleasure to see you as a speaker on the occasion. So welcome once again, and please continue with the session.
Thank you, Dr. Idym Qureshi madam, the host of today's session, and all the renowned resource persons, Azra madam, Dr. Prachi madam, Vanessa madam, D'Souza madam, and the director of this IDYM group, Dr. Ravi Shankar sir, all the technical team. Every day I was habitual to listen here as a guest, but today I get an opportunity to speak on today's topic, that is girls in STEM. Can I present my PPT, madam?
Yes, sir. Please start.
It's visible?
It is visible, sir. Please continue.
Okay. the icons of the screen are visible because I am seeing all the icons of there. Okay, no problem. Today's topic is girls in the STEM, which is invited by the Idym group, Global Youth and the Global Youth Festival. I am Dr. Betkar MM, Principal Sri Kumar Swami Mahavidyalaya Ausa. Will try to present few my opinion on this topic. Before that, all the resource persons have completed the properties of this today's webinar in all dimensions. But let us see few topics or the points which I would like to cover in my PPT. Science, technology, engineering and mathematics is the branch where the most of the innovations are observed. And if you see basically, as compared to the social sciences, these branches are more advanced and having technically lead. And basically these all branches can have our daily routine life and research depends upon this one. So STEM, the science, technology, mathematics is the area where there are so much scope for the progress of the any country or the world or the human being. Let us see. Unfold history of the women in this STEM. If you read some stories of the history, there are some Nobel women as defined by Dr. Prachi, those who have a name in the STEM. But the factor is so less. From ancient age of the world, women are also leading in every field, but the percentage was very less. Now, why so few women in the STEM? The problem arises in the modern world nowadays. Our education started as a co-education in India or any country. At that time, students are taught so that they can achieve their expected goal. So the teachers in the schools or colleges try to encourage all the students. But it is observed that the girl child, that is women's, are taking a less benefits as compared to the men. That's why they are not offering the subject for higher studies of STEM, and hence there are observed few women as compared to the men in the higher education, research and the jobs also. So what are the facts behind the gap? The fact because of the choice of the subjects, fear of the subjects, the careless of the parents, and also the teachers who can't guide them from their childhood. So these are the facts where the girl child fears to offer the fields of the STEM. At the same time, they can not go ahead to achieve the higher studies or the research. These are the facts behind that. Now, why do lose interest in STEM the girls? Because in India or any country, the girl child have more responsibility than the men. As soon as they study, parents try to think about the marriage. After that, they get more responsibility as compared to the men, and basically it loses interest in the STEM. It's not mean that they are not themselves deciding to leave the STEM, but the circumstances they observe or they feel, that's why the girls lose the interest in this STEM. Then why girls are needed in this STEM? Since the technology, the research, the higher studies where we require the potential. And naturally, the girls are and women are having the best potential. They are having the best efficiency to do the work. They have a merit in their naturally their efficiency. If such efficient girls or women, if they join the organization, institute, they definitely can improve the efficiency of organization or the institute. That's why girls in the and it is observed the office women are in more in number. The offices, organizations, factories are most efficient as compared where the all are the men. So girls are needed in the STEM. Why don't more girls choose the STEM career? Why they can't able to choose the STEM career? As the study said that the girls try to fear maths, physics, the sciences where calculations are in most lead. But they try to offer the biological sciences. Naturally, they love the nature. They try to explore the nature in through the biological sciences where they seems to feel a simple science. And they try to do the research or their career in the sciences, biological sciences. But they can't try to offer the subjects like mathematics, like physics, like astrophysics, engineering technology. So this is the observed fact in studies. So girls have to choose the careers where there are the challenges and they can contribute for the future of the that stream or that science or that country. Then what are the challenges for women? Why they are not joining this STEM? What are the challenges? The challenges are the society challenges. If in India, if we see that poverty, lack of awareness of education importance, the early age of marriage, the social responsibilities, and after marriage, the family responsibilities, parental responsibilities. All these factors are the challenges for the woman. And that's why the women are have to overcome these challenges. Then and then only they can overcome the challenges and try to stand with more efficiency in the field of STEM, where there is more opportunity to do something for the country or the research. Now let us say reducing the gender inequalities. First of all, we have to reduce the gender inequalities in the STEM. Government is not doing this inequality. It has given proper opportunity to everyone. But still, girl childs are not offering the subjects like the STEM. At that time, naturally it observes the gender inequality. And because of the gender equality in teaching, the higher percentage of offering the higher studies also less. And ultimately, the teachers or the girl childs for joining the STEM career is also less. This is the bad cycle. If we keep the gender inequality, then and then only girl child can offer the more subject for higher studies and they get more opportunity and they get more jobs. So we have to reduce the gender inequalities right from the school, right from the offices, right from any branch. Now, what is the factor? Discrimination of women in STEM area means in the office, the women feels so many problems of gender inequality, some sexism, discrimination, and not identifying that power. They have those who are not able to identify the power. So that this discrimination causes the women not to go ahead in that field. Ultimately, this discrimination should be stopped and they have to give equal opportunity for equal. They have to contribute or they have to give an equal opportunity in equal fields. Maybe their field work, maybe their job, maybe in program or maybe for the status. So they should not be discriminated. Then and then only in this field, the girl child can have a more opportunities. Ways to get girls into the STEM. Which are the ways to girls into the STEM? First of all, we can't discriminate them. We give them the equal opportunity. We offer every subject to them. We try to say that all subjects are equal. No subject is hard. No subject is easy. If you are having efficiency to do study for that, they can offer these subjects. We have to offer more opportunities of field work or this, supporting to them, so that throughout these ways, so many ways, we can increase the strength of girl child in the education, in the field of research, right from the school. So these are the different, and we have to encourage them to offer the topic. We have to encourage them to offer any branch. So that's why in a STEM, we have to keep the girl child in more strength. Now, what is our duty? Our duty is to take responsibility women in the STEM fields where we are doing working. If the girl childs or women are losing the job, if the students, girl students are losing the job, we have to study the factors which are affecting for losing their job or studies. My experience is that in my school, college as a principal, the girls' strength or the enrollment is very less. And again that attending classes is again less. Similarly, the passing percentage is less and job opportunities are also less. So at that time, I decided to do the work, so that why I try to find out the problem why girls enrollment for taking admission in the college is less. In our college is the case study. So that is observed that they have no traveling facility, or no the bus passes, or the buses or transport system is not in time. So that we requested to the local bus authorities, try to give a frequent visit to that schools, colleges, the villages, so that girl child can get their admissions for attending the classes because of transport facility. So problems may be different from different areas, but if you try to solve these problems on that level, then it will also support. If we take some responsibility, it will also support to admit the students or girl childs in the STEM fields. Now, what are the advantages of the women in STEM? As said previous, the women are having equal potential as like gents. They have best efficiency. They have a capacity of effort to find out the problem of the any solution of any problem. So these are the positive factors which are hidden in the women. If we given some opportunity to them, if we encourage them, then they can join the STEM branches and also can contribute for the progress of the nation. So this is the advantage. Then we have to shape the women's education and career, because if they have potential and they have the potential, so at that time, if you guide them, if we support them to offer the choice of the subject in the STEM, then they will achieve their merit. At the same time, they will try to do sustain their job in future also. So we have to shape the women's career to stay in this branch for their job and other opportunity. Is it a female role model thing? If women are coming ahead, in India, Sudha Murthy is the role model for the girls which are in the teaching field, engineering field. So the senior girls or the women should try to become a role model, and then only the coming generation will follow with the best their efforts and try to follow that role model. So these are the few topics. And making the future. If you want to make a future of a country, we should have to give equal opportunity to the girls, especially in STEM field, where the technology, mathematics, geology, These mathematics, physics, all these subjects are challenging subjects. They are not hard. But if the girl child have admitted in that, if they have given equal opportunity to join that subject, then they will contribute more for the bright future of the country, of the world. Thank you, the IDYM group and the host Anjum Qureshi madam, all the resource persons, those who have listened here. And for the all information and images displayed in this PPT are downloaded from the online resource of the educational purpose is to avoid the copyright problem for our group. Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a wonderful and power-packed presentation, I can say. In fact, you covered most of the points related to STEM. And yes, we actually need to support the women or the girls to continue their education. As you were talking about transportation facility, yes, this was actually a problem somewhere we found in our state also, like especially for the girls living in village, they had the problem that they didn't have any transportation facility. They had to walk to a nearby village to reach the high school, so they had a dropout. And one of the experience which I would like to share, where most of the times people don't pay attention, that the girls after reaching their puberty, when they started with the menstrual cycles, they didn't attend the school because the school, though it had a washroom, but it did not have a latch. So this was again a question of privacy and security for them. Due to this reason, either they did not attend the school or they discontinued their education. So the problems in many, and the thing is that the fact is that we should identify those problems and we should try working for it. Like the problem of washroom, the problem of transportation, this is somewhere which is neglected. We concentrate on making the education more interesting, and it is not just about pursuing a career, but somewhere I feel a girl who is educated with science, who has science education, somewhere she can improve her life also, her family's life also, because we say that when we educated a woman, it is not only the woman who is getting educated, but it is the family and the community and the economy as a whole. So like if she's educated in science, she can have more knowledge about health, more knowledge about nutrition. She can give better nutrition to her children, also to her family. And especially like the girls in the rural areas, they have very less knowledge about menstrual hygiene, about menstrual health and all the women health. So she will be having knowledge about that. She can monitor her child's growth, and there are many things that can be said on this. So of course the girls should be encouraged for that. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for the wonderful session. And yeah, before going, I would just like to say that technology, we are living in a world of technology where the technology is changing every now and then. Every week we get a new technology, but the syllabus is not changing at that rate. But when we are talking about technology, when we are talking about research, when we are talking about innovation, everywhere we need the knowledge of STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, coding, robotics, everywhere, artificial intelligence, everywhere we need this field. Like we were discussing the last two sessions we had about SDG 04 and SDG 05, everywhere it aims to actually educate women to go for higher education, especially to acquire the technical and vocational skill. Even the National Education Policy 2020, in which it discusses about encouraging more number of women and having equal participation of the women in the research work. So there are a lot of initiatives that are going on, and I hope we as educators should take this responsibility of encouraging each and every girl to enter the technical field, to enter the engineering field. And as you were talking, yes, we need more women to enter. Like as being a professor, I can say that when we studied, we didn't have the number of lady staff in an engineering college was nearly equal to zero. But as now we can see in our college, we have nearly 30% of the lady staff. So the girls actually, they see to us as their mothers or their elders, and they come with us. When we were students, we didn't have this facility, and we really missed having a lady teacher there whom we could consider as a role model, whom we can go and share our problems and discuss our issues. And also, it is good that the more women should enter. And with this, we come to the end of the session. And I take this opportunity to thank all our speakers, the very talented and brilliant speaker, Dr. Bedkar sir, who is always an inspiration for us and always takes out time for us. Thank you very much, sir. And it was a great pleasure listening to you as a speaker, because we have always listened to you as a reviewer, but today as a speaker. Thank you very much, sir. And also all the brilliant and talented speakers for the effective presentations and talks. Dr. Prachi Beriwala ma'am, Azra Tazidi ma'am, and Vanessa ma'am. Thank you very much, all of you, for sharing your valuable insights on this very good topic, which actually needs discussion. Thank you very much, all of you. And I also thank Ravi sir, because and all the team of IDYM, Dino Lasmi ma'am, Zenith ma'am, and all the creative and talented team of IDYM. Without them, we could not have got this chance to discuss on this topic and disseminate awareness regarding the topic girls in STEM. Thank you one and all. Goodbye and God bless you all.